Welcome to session 2 of Research Methods module. In this session, we will look at the nature of business and management research and inquiry. First of all, let's look at what we plan to cover in this session. In this session, you will find two tutorials. In the first tutorial, we will look at the outline and the purpose and the real focus of management research. How is management research different to other forms of research? And also in the first tutorial, we will look at importance of research for decision making. Or in other words, what is the role of research in decision making? In tutorial 2, you will see the balanced learning outcomes, especially the definition and a description of applied research and how applied research is used in our module, and also what are the different stages that you need to complete in the research process. Finally, we'll have a discussion about how do you identify or how do you choose a research topic. Okay, now let's start looking at what research is and what it is not. First, let's look at what it is not. Research is not just collecting data, facts, or information without a clear purpose. In research, there is always a clear purpose or a reason to do the research. It's not about reassembling, reordering the currently available information without any interpretation. Research is all about looking at the information and interpreting the data and information to make a complete picture. It is not to get your product or idea noticed or respected, but some of the research end up inconclusive. That is okay, but it's not always to produce an end product. Then let's look at what research is. Data that is collected systematically. The key word here is systematically. That means there is a defined process to collect data. Then the second one is data are interpreted systematically. We don't jump into conclusions, but the data is analyzed and interpreted systematically. And the third and the final one is there is a clear purpose why we do that research. Now I believe you have a basic understanding about what research is and it is not. Now let's move to answer 4 critical questions. Before we start any research, it's very important to ask what is the problem or opportunity we are going to research. That's a starting point. You need to have either a problem or an opportunity. The second question, why is it a problem or an opportunity? Now, if you have some phenomena and if it is not a problem, there is no need to do anything about it. But if it is a problem and there is a reason behind that problem, we can do something about it. The third question, what do you want to achieve or where do you want to be? You might say, I need to collect information A, B, C, and D. Then the fourth question is, how do you get there? What kind of method or methodology you want to follow in order to get there? Now, when you look at these 4 questions, it's clear that you need to have a lot of clarity in your mind regarding the problem or opportunity that you want to address with your research. Now, you may be having such problems, opportunities that is related to project management, which you want to research through this module. Okay, I want to make this more clear with a simple illustration. Let's start with the role of research in decision making. I want to make it practical and talk about something we discussed in class. Look at this. Staff turnover in a particular company. Let's call this company GDI. The industry staff turnover is supposed to be 5% in this particular industry. But in this company, the first 2 years, the staff turnover has been around 2.5 to 3%. But suddenly, by year 3, it has shot up to 15%, and year 4 and year 5, it continued at 15% staff turnover. Now, here there is a clear problem. What is the problem? Staff turnover, it's 3 times the industry average. So we have a business problem which we need to address. What do we need to do? Whenever we have a business problem we want to solve. What do we mean by solving a problem? We take certain decisions. Decisions on how to correct the situation or correct the issue. If you can make decisions, if you can go ahead, then take the decisions and move forward. Now, see, we had a business problem, that is staff turnover in this company. It was 3 times the industry norm, so it is a business problem. We had the desire to solve it, and we know how to solve it. We go ahead and resolve or correct that issue. But let's take another approach. What if you can't solve or take some decisions? What if you don't have the right information to take these decisions? Then we cannot go ahead and make decisions, or even if you do, it will carry a lot of risk. So if you can't make decisions because there is lack of information, it is an information gap. What is an information gap? We do not have the right or adequate amount of information to make a decision. Now see, this information gap is our research problem. Now let's go back one step. What is our business problem? Our business problem is our staff turnover is 3 times higher than the industry norm. But what is our research problem? Our research problem is we do not have information about why there is staff turnover in this company. So our research problem is presented as an information gap. Then this leads to the most important area, that is, the research problem is converted to a research question. Look at this. What is driving staff turnover at GDI company? Now we have a research question. We have a real problem to investigate. Now, since we have a research problem and we are clear about this research problem, we move to the next stage. That is setting research objectives. With a clear research question, we are able to set research objectives. See this. The research question ended with a question mark, but the research objectives always start with the word to identify key drivers and reasons for staff turnover at GDI amongst executive staff. Now see, it is not about everyone in the company. Now we are very specific where we have this problem and we want to Identify the key drivers and the reasons for staff turnover at GDI company amongst executive grade. Now see, we have a clear research question and we have a research objective. Now we are in a position to look at the research methods. It could be survey research. It could be doing a focus group discussion. It could be doing a depth interview with someone. So we have a choice of research methods and we will plan that and move to the next step of collecting data. Once we collect the data, we move to data analysis. And data analysis is where we look at, okay, what is the data that we collected and how do we analyze this data? And the final step is we come with conclusions and insights about what is happening at GDI company and what is driving staff turnover. See, now we have the information. Now we can go ahead and make the decisions. Okay, now let's look at what is the real research domain. Now it's clear to you there is a business problem and then there is a separate area for research. What we have circled with the dotted line is what we normally tackle in our research. But if you see, it always starts with a business problem or an opportunity like we described earlier. I want you to take a moment to reflect on this because this allows us to understand how do we start a business problem. And that business problem needs to have certain amount of data. Once the business problem is quantified, we have the choice of making some decisions. Now look at this example. Staff turnover can be created or triggered by many reasons. One could be lack of motivation. Another could be lack of remuneration. Another could be better job opportunities outside. Another one could be lack of training and development. Another one could be management or the organization culture. Now see, these different reasons require different actions. If the real problem is in remuneration, there is no point increasing or improving training. So we need to find the root cause of this problem before we attempt to make any decisions. Now that is where research can come in and follow a very systematic process and generate the insights that you need to make business decisions. So now you know what research is and it is not. And also we discussed about the 4 key questions to ask. What is the problem or the opportunity? Why is it a problem? Where do you want to be and how do you get there? And we illustrated that with an example about staff turnover.